Welcome back to day 2 of the World Bridge series. Now, again, for today, this is the final part of the Swiss teams. Anyone could enter this portion, and the goal is to be in the top 32 to make the knockouts. We've got lots of action today. We've got 5 matches to look at. We'll jump in and look at round number 6. So here we've got an interesting match between Oddmet and Lucky 4. Now, here we've got a board where there's quite a bit of distribution, but the points are relatively evenly balanced. So here, East has a nice 10 count, but is vulnerable against not, so passed. And South has a distributional 11 count, 6-4. I love these hand shapes. They get in and open 1 diamond. West overcalls a spade, and then North doubles to show hearts. Here, East jumps to 4 spades. They've got an incredible hand for their partner. They could consider other bids like 4 diamonds, splinter, but they're not really expecting to ever make a slam. And at this vulnerability, the more time you give the opponents to show their hands, they might find good sacrifices. So 4 spades, just thinking this is where we want to play. Let's not give them too much space. Now South bids 4 no trumps, showing 2 places to play. So in highly competitive auctions like this, they're not using 4 no trumps as keycard. They're just saying, I want to bid over 4 spades and there's a few places I can play. And the reason for this is over the double, they know they've got a heart fit, but they've got this great diamond suit. So if their partner bid clubs, they'd probably bid 5 diamonds themselves to say, hey, actually, I've got hearts and diamonds. Where do you want to play? But I won't pass, and North bids 5 diamonds. They've got great diamonds for their partner, and here East doubles. And the reason for the double, they don't have great diamonds, but East had such a good 4 spade bid that they thought it was their hand. And they could just be bidding this just on sort of 5 spades and quite weak hands. And because they think that they're making 4 spades, you have to double to try and protect your score. And here this goes all pass, and 5 diamonds plays pretty reasonably. You've got 3 club losers, but as long as you lead up towards the Queen Jack of clubs, you're only going to lose 2 of them. They can't get any ruffs. No spades, no diamonds, and in hearts you're missing the King Jack, but if you can guess it, you'll do okay. So here they ruff in, and then they draw trumps. They ruffed another spade and started with the club up. Now here they return a club. So at this stage, they switch to a heart, which means that there's no longer any more guesses in hearts. If they continue with a club, which is the toughest defense, they would actually have to guess, do you play ace of hearts, heart to the queen, or heart to the 10? And if you misguess, you actually go down 2. But after this, they got out for down 1. At the other table, East pass went 1 diamond, a spade, double, 4 spades, and South just insisted on their 5 diamond bid. And it went pass, pass, and East bids 5 spades. Now, I really don't like trying to bid 5 over 5. I always never do it. But East had such a good hand that they felt like this might be a spot where both sides are making. There could easily be a spot where like 5 spades makes and 5 diamonds makes. So they bid 5 over 5. I am extremely hesitant to do this. I always never do this. And here, bidding 5 spades goes down 1 unless they lead a club. And they could have had their plus 100 or plus 300 here. But they got the club lead. And here looks like they underlead their Queen Jack. So the Jack would have shown the Queen. And you might be thinking, well, you've got this sequence in diamonds in a suit that partner's not only opened, but also repeated at the 5 level. And that's kind of the point of why you might not choose the diamond sequence here. Your partner has bid 1 diamond, 5 diamonds. There is no way that you're only expecting 6 diamonds for this. So if that's the case, you would think partner might have 8 diamonds or something. So it doesn't really look like you're ever going to be getting diamond tricks. So they decided to take this time to try and build club tricks quickly. But instead, what happened is this went club to the king. They drew trumps. And then they played a club back to the 10. And they got the ace of clubs. And from here, you get to throw a heart away. Now you just lose 1 heart and 1 spade. But they went over, and For some reason, they made 12 tricks. So my guess is they led the Jack of Hearts here towards the king. And that also won a trick as well. So that was a pretty wild hand here. So we'll take a look at the full scorecard from this match. So there were heaps of imps thrown around. Very interesting set to actually look at. But Oddmet inched out a 2-imp win over Lucky 4 there. So we'll now move into round number 7. So here we're looking at a match between Nickel and Moran. And here the auction started off 1 spade and they bid 2 clubs, which was just artificial game force. And went 2 spades, and I think they showed a balanced game force, and South elected to choose 3 no trumps. At the other table, relatively similar, a spade, 2 diamonds, 2 spades. Now, some people play this 2 spade bid here as sort of like a catch-all bid, where if they, say, had a hand with like 5 spades and 4 clubs, they, if you bid 3 clubs, it might show some extra values, whereas if you bid 2 spades, it might just show a minimum sort of hand. And then it went 2 no trumps, and now they repeated spades to actually show that they had 6, and North bid to 4 spades. So we've got a 3 no trumps versus 4 spades contract. And here in 4 spades, they got the club lead, which went over to the ace, and they returned the 9 of clubs. Now this here should be suit preference, because you very well might think that the 9 of clubs was a singleton lead, and when you are trying to give your partner a ruff, you want to tell them, do you like the higher ranking suit or lower ranking suit? Here it goes club, and partner doesn't ruff. But when it goes spade back and they win the king, now you know that, hey, partner actually likes hearts, and leading a heart here is fine. A diamond, they didn't signal it for it. So they switch to a heart. And here North has to choose, do they put in the king of hearts or play west for the queen? And it doesn't actually matter, but here they went in with the king. And at this stage, they get to just return a heart and get the down 1. Even if you misguessed, guess correctly, you've still got troubles in this and can go down 1 in 4 spades. Whereas at the other table, while you have a spade fit, they elected to play in 3 no trumps. And like a semi-solid suit plays pretty well in no trumps, and you can actually beat 3 no trumps on this hand if East decides to try and set up their partner's heart suit, which you have no information about, because here clubs, you've got a whole bunch of club tricks after you knock out the king queen, but it's a touch too slow. Whereas hearts, once you get rid of the king of hearts, the heart suit will set up. But here they led the pretty normal 4th highest club, and the spade finesse failed, and they went back to clubs, set it up. They've still got the ace of hearts entry, but you've got 5 spades, 2 clubs, and 2 diamonds for 9 tricks, and a handy pickup for Nickel there. So let's take a look at the scorecard. So big win for Nickel here, 41-8. So great result there. Let's move on to round number 8. For round number 8, we're looking at Team Zimmerman versus Mura. Zimmerman, the current world champions, had a rough day yesterday. They've started to rally. They're getting back up into it. And here we've got a board where East opens 3 hearts. South's got a pretty good hand, but relatively flat. So they've got 14 high card points and 5 spades. Over the opponent's preempt, you sort of really want to try and stretch to bid. They get in and bid 3 spades. North has an 11 count, and just with a heart stopper, they go in for 3 no trumps. Now, 3 no trumps, even though you've got 2 heart stoppers, isn't a success, because they lead the queen of hearts and you win. And they went after clubs here, realizing that if you play on spades, they get to win and play again and try and do that. So what they were hoping for was the king of clubs over here, and maybe they can get a few club tricks and 4 diamonds and 2 hearts to make 3 no trumps. But here they won, they set up the hearts, and at this stage, it's not looking too good for 3 no trumps. So down 2. At the other table, instead of opening 3 hearts, they opened 4 hearts. And you thought, might be why would you open 4 hearts? You've only got 7 hearts. But here it comes back to vulnerability. East is not vulnerable versus vulnerable great time for preempting. Often people might preempt like a level higher than what you might be otherwise thinking because of just the vulnerability here. And 4 Heart opening bought the contract, and 4 Hearts has a fair few losers. You're going to lose 2 hearts, you're going to lose 2 diamonds, and a club off the top. So they let a club to the king, hoping to sneak one past the ace. That didn't work. They got back into spades. And at this stage, they're trying to set up to trump their diamond, but declare the defense draws trumps, and you're left without resource. So you're down 3. So we had 3 no down 2 and 4 hearts down 3 in opposite directions. So a bit of a swing out. But it's worth noting here that it looks like 4 spades actually makes on this contract, because you've only got 1 club loser and 2 spade losers if you lead your spades towards the queen jack a couple of times. So it does look like there is a game contract for north-south. So 4 hearts down 3 isn't that bad, but it's hard to actually navigate your way to 4 spades here. So let's take a look at the score. And here Zimmerman had a medium-sized win, plus 14 imps over Mura there. So they're continuing their surge back up. Let's take a look at round number 9. Okay, in round number 9, we have Leibowitz versus Sol. And here we got a 3 club opening, just a 6-card club suit, but again, favorable vulnerability. And this went pass, and Helgamo got in there and jumped to 4 hearts, which got passed. So at this stage, West has an awkward hand to lead from. So what do you actually choose with this hand? Well, you've already preempted clubs. Partner hasn't really liked that. Doesn't look that appealing. Ace 3rd spade isn't that great. You could be considering a diamond away from the queen. They opted for their singleton heart. And the general idea here is once you've preempted, you've sort of warned the opponents that you might have a singleton. So singleton trumps aren't as bad, but here it picks up ace queen 3rd, so they're not absolutely loving it. So they drew trumps and at this stage, and then they took the club finesse. They drew lots of trumps. And after that, they played a diamond back and finessed again. And now they got to throw a spade away. So they didn't even need to lead a spade up towards their king. Because it doesn't look like the ace of spades is onside, but it didn't actually matter there. And they wrapped up 12 tricks pretty convincingly. At the other table, they didn't open 3 clubs here. And it went past, and it went 1 spade. South bid 2 hearts, 4 clubs, which was a fit showing jump. It showed spades and clubs. Typically, it shows 9 cards in the 2 suits. And it went double, 4 spades. I should mention, Build A didn't have a normal opening hand here. They've only got 7 points. But they are 3rd seat favorable. So often you get to see these light, aggressive openings at this vulnerability here, because opening in 3rd seat, you know that if you're pretty light on points and these 2 hands are passed, the final hand's going to have a pretty strong hand. And by making them the overcaller rather than the opener, it's really hard to describe these more difficult hands. So here they opted for 2 hearts, the 4 club double, 4 spades, and South thought they hadn't shown enough, so they bid to 5 hearts. And at this stage, Madala led the ace of spades, because partners bid 1 spade, which kind of helps solve this lead problem here, but then you get to see that, hey, spades doesn't really have much future. So where do you go after the ace of spades? Well, they elected to try and build some tricks and diamonds, because there's great clubs here. They didn't think their partner had a void. And diamond to the king, and now their queen set up. Now, Declarer can actually make this contract from here, but they have to find the queen of hearts. And you do have information that West has bid 4 clubs, spades and clubs. So if they've got 9 cards in the 2 suits, should you actually be finessing them? Also, it looks like with this 4 of diamonds lead, it looks like they have 3 diamonds. And to me, it looks like they have the singleton heart, and you might want to take the ace of hearts and then actually get up to the north hand and finesse the heart. But they have a backup plan here, which is as long as East didn't have a singleton club, which they do this time, they would be able to check to see if the Queen of Hearts falls, then take a club finesse and come back to their hand and then finesse the club again and then throw their diamond away. But because East actually had a singleton club, they get to rough in and then go into diamonds. So they went down here. I feel like you have the information that finessing the heart is probably the right play. Like if they've got 9 cards in the black suits, spades and clubs, then, well, North-South have an 8-card spade fit. So it looks like it's a 5-3. So to get to 9 cards, it would be a 6-card club suit like this. Now, it's not that everyone plays that they're showing 9 cards in the 2 suits, but their club suit's not great either. So it felt like maybe that's what's going on, and finessing the heart might be the right play, even though you've got 9 there. Anyway, let's take a look at the scorecard. So a big win for the Leibowitz team here, 42-6, just pushing them right up the rankings. Great time for that win. And then into the final round of the Swiss, round number 10. So this is the crunch match, because in Swiss events, I always think that if you win your final match, you've had a good event, because when that cutoff there is, you could have been doing well and you lose that match, and you don't have the chance to then sort of bounce back. Here we've got this hand where you might be thinking, do you open the East hand? It's got 12 points. How do you value this singleton king? And like the spade suit is not exactly great quality here. So with 5 low spades, East elected to pass. And it went 1 club by their partner, 1 diamond overcall. Fabulous diamond suit here, but getting in and overcalling. 1 spade, and then West looking just at a balanced 12 count was like, okay, fine. And then North didn't, like, their partner hasn't done anything. They have length in the 1 club opening. North-South can actually compete in clubs here, but it's really hard after the 1 club opening. So they just elected to pass it out at the 1 level. Now, here they got the 9 of diamonds lead, which was a singleton, but you don't really know what it is because partner's just leading you a suit. It's not clear cut that it's a singleton. Anyway, Clara lays down the ace of spades and then leads a club towards the singleton king, but they can't actually see that. So from Donati's point of view, they can see these 3 low here. But hopped up with the ace and then returned a diamond, which their partner roughed. And at this stage, they get the king of spades and 1 more heart. At the other table, they did open 1 spade here and went 2-no, 3 spades, which was probably their minimum. And they got to 4 spades. And here we got the diamond lead and then ace of spades and a club, which North did not hop up with the ace. Again, they can't see the singleton king. And it's not clear cut whether you should or not. Now, I did want to highlight, it depends on what the 3 spade bid actually means here. Because if 2-no was like Jacoby, South East might have had the chance to show a club shortage. And they might have chosen not to show a singleton club because it's a singleton king. And if East didn't show a singleton, then there's really not much reason for North to hop up with the ace here. So ace of spades, club lead, ducked, and now they get to lead another spade up. And at this stage, they can lead a heart to the ace and get a diamond rough to hold it to 10 tricks, but they tried the ace of clubs, and now there's 11 tricks for East-West and a handy game swing. So let's check out the scoreboard here. Borderletti got a handy win, plus 8 imps over World Bridge Tour. And now on to the results. All right. So Leibowitz has won the Swiss so far. So that's Dennis Bilde, Adam Grossack, Ger Helgamo, Lawrence Leibowitz, Augustin Medalla, and Frederick Nystrom taking out the top spot, with Apris Bridge Champs and Nickel in 3rd. And then what I find really interesting is the cutoff for 32nd spot. So Vitus had the unfortunate spot of being 33rd, and SPS Echo Rosanka snuck in with that. So I went down and just checked out where they were. They were in about 41st position going forward from there. But I also like checking out these matches in 15th and 16th spot. So these are like before the final match, they're in the cutoff. And these are the pressure matches here. So Don Julio versus Fleischer. So Fleischer with Thomas Bassi, Martin Fleischer, Joe Guru, Cedric Lorenzini, Chip Martel, and Brad Moss in 32nd spot. Came in with a clutch win there to get in. And also Spectre with Kevin Bathurst, Vince DeMoy, John Hurd, John Kraniak, Warren Spectre, and Gavin Wolpert. Played Hahn's team, which was an Australian team, well, mainly Australian. Michael Wibley's from New Zealand. But the Hahn's team got up and snuck in there. So good on them. So that were the rounds from the Swiss. From tomorrow, we're into knockouts. There'll be plenty of good bridge to come. Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.